What causes women's rights violation? Introduction. Modern societies have undergone complete metamorphosis and adopted new ways of doing things. Modernization has become a common occurrence in almost all aspects of our daily lives, and it has improved our living standards. However, an improvement in technology does not reflect human developments if what happens to some members in the society is anything to consider. For a long time, women have suffered various challenges and become victims of circumstances without anyone raising an alarm about this. This essay explores the violation of women's rights and possible causes in our modern societies. Definition. Human rights refer to the privileges that a person enjoys as a human being. These rights include the permission to access quality healthcare, security, food, shelter, education, and public amenities. In addition, it also includes the freedom to move and express opinions regarding various happenings. Causes of women's rights abuse. Most women have been abused in modern societies due to illiteracy and lack of exposure to their rights. Women constitute the greatest percentage of the illiterate population due to societal perceptions. This exposes them to various forms of discrimination that lead to their oppression. In addition, the lack of proper guidance from governments is also to blame for women's oppression. Most developing nations are struggling to adopt democratic policies and forget that women deserve the right to be heard and considered as members of society. Moreover, poverty has continued to propagate women's suffering due to the lack of sufficient funds to cater to domestic needs. Most women are forced to look for food for their families, and this makes them vulnerable to oppression. It is imperative to state that the modern woman has become so occupied with the desire to earn a living without relying on men. However, she is not able to find a job so easily unless she bows down to some form of pressure from a man's side. Consequently, women seek favors by submitting their bodies to men in exchange for these aspects. As a result, they end up being victims of rape and other forms of sexual abuse. Moreover, drug abuse has become a common problem in many homes, and this makes women the most susceptible victims to the effects associated with this vice. On most occasions, men have violated women either verbally or physically when they are under the influence of drugs. The number of cases of rape and other forms of sexual abuse among women has increased due to drug abuse, especially in the informal settlement areas. In addition, some traditions are extremely retrogressive and still consider women as domestic servants. The fact that there are free primary and secondary school education and many scholarships to study further education has not helped women to attend schools. Their communities still treat them as servants and have not given them opportunities to utilize their talents. In addition, most women are comfortable with their positions, and therefore, they are not ready to challenge their men in higher positions. Lastly, affirmative actions have not gone well with most men since they view this as defiance. On the other hand, women have embraced these actions without considering how to approach men in dealing with the anticipated challenges. As a result, men have felt like they are being challenged and have countered this with violence and other forms of abuse. Conclusion. Most women will continue to be abused if necessary steps are not taken to address these issues. It is imperative to ensure that both men and women are involved in women's empowerment and emancipation to ensure that society embraces change and respect for human rights.